In problem number 1, we're going to simplify like terms. Notice we're adding here, and we both have square root of 6. So all I'm going to do is negative 2 plus 5. That's how we got 3 square root of 6. In problem number 2, I have like terms. They are both the square root of 7. So all I need to do is negative 3 minus 5. That's how I got negative 8 square root of 7. In problem number 3, I am going to combine like terms, but I have the square root of 12s and the square root of 3, and I notice the square root of 12 could reduce. So 6 times 2 is 12, then I factor 6, 2 times 3. So I have a set of 2's, here's my set of 2's times 3. So I have a set of 2's that come out. That's where this 2 came from. And it was originally negative, so it becomes negative 2. Then I'm going to factor 12 again. I get the same answer. So I have a set of 2's that come out and 3. So this set of 2's come out as 2, and it was already negative in the original problem, so it stays negative. Square root of 3 doesn't reduce. So now I have 3 terms that are like terms. They're all square root of 3's. So I'm going to go negative 2 minus 1. That's how I got negative 5 square root of 3. In problem number 4, I'm going to subtract, except I notice that I don't have any like terms. But I could see that 8 reduces. So I'm going to factor it to 4 times 2. Then I have 4 factors of 2 and 2. That's how I got these 3 2's under the radical. I am going to take out a set of 2. So here's my set of 2's that come out. That's how I got that minus 2. This was originally a minus, so it stays a minus. Square root of 3 doesn't factor, so it stays the square root of 3. So 12 factors to 6 times 2, then 6 factors to 2 and 3. So I have a set of 2's and a 3. So I have a set of 2's that come out. So that was originally negative. That's where that negative came from. So I got the 2 here. Now I'm going to combine like terms. I have square roots of 2. This doesn't reduce with anything because there aren't any other square roots of 2. So square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 3, that's how I got minus 3 square root of 3. So I'm all done. In problem number 5, I have all cube roots. They're all unlike terms, but I notice I can factor 24. 8 times 3, and then I factor 8. 4 times 2. That's how I got 222 times 3. My index is 3. I'm looking for sets of 3. That's how that 2 came out. And notice this was a negative. That's why this is a negative. 16 factors to 2 and 8. 8, 4, and 2. 2, 2, 2. That's where I got these 3 2's. And then I got the 4th 2 from here. So I have a set of 2's that come out because my index is 3. That's where I got that 2. And again, this one's negative. So that negative stays out there. Last term doesn't reduce because it's already simplified. So I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. Notice I only have one term that's a cube root of 2, so it stays a cube root of 2. So I'm going to go minus 2 minus 1. That's how I got minus 3 cube root of 3. In problem number 6, I have 3 unlike terms because I have the square root of 3, square root of 12, square root of 8. I go ahead and factor 12, 6 and 2. Then I have 2 and 3. So I have a set of 2's that come out. That's where I got that 2. The problem was originally negative. That's how I got the minus. My first term doesn't change because it's already simplified. And then I'm going to factor 8. 4 times 2, 2 times 2. So I have a set of 2's that come out. That's where that 2 came from. This was originally minus, so this stays minus. So I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to combine my square roots of 3. So negative 1 minus 2, that's how I got negative 3. This term, square root of 2, doesn't combine. That's why I have that in my answer. In problem number 7, I am multiplying. I'm not adding or subtracting. So multiply whole numbers with whole numbers. 4 multiplies with 1. That's how I got 4 right here. Under the radicals, I have square root of 3. That's where that 3 came from. I'm going to factor 6. 2 times 3. So I have 3 times 2. So I have a set of 3's that come out of the radical. So 4 times 3 is 12. Square root of 2 stays under the radical. In problem number 8, I am multiplying. I am multiplying. So I am going to go 2 and 3. There's no sets here, so I get the square root of 6. In problem number 9, I am multiplying this problem. I am going to do integers with integers, so I have 4 times 1, because 1 is right here. That's how I got 4. Then I'm going to factor. 3 is already factored. That's where this 3 came from. 15, 3 times 5. So I have a set of 3's that come out. So 4 times 3 is 12. 5 stays under the radical. In problem number 10, I am multiplying. I have negative 5. That's the identity 1. So I'm just going to bring down that negative 5. And then I have a set of 2's under the radical. So 2 comes out. So negative 5 times 2, negative 10. In problem number 11, I'm going to multiply a monomial, negative square root of 10, times a binomial. I'm going to multiply integers times integers, and the radicals times the radicals. So I have negative 1 here times 4. That's how I got negative 1 times 4. Now I'm going to multiply negative 10, square root of 10 times the square root of 2. So I'm going to factor 10. That's how I got this 5 and 2, square root of 2. I have a set of 2's that come out. That's where that 2 came out. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 5 stays under the radical. Then I'm going to multiply negative 1 times 3. So I am going to keep this as negative 3. Then under the radical, 5 and 2 don't come out. So that's going to say square root of 10. And number 12, radical times radical, integer times integer. So I have square root of 15 times 5. 15, I have no sets that come out. So I have 5 square root of 15. Then I'm going to go square root of 15 times square root of 3. 15 is 5 and 3. Square root of 3 is 3. I got the set of 3's to come out right here. So that's how I got 3 square root of 5. In problem 13, I am going to go negative 2 times 4. That's how I got negative 8. Then my radical, square root of 10. Square root of 10. And then I'm going to multiply negative 2 times 1 here. So I am just going to leave this negative 2. The square root of 10 times the square root of 10. I am going to factor 10. 2 and 5. So I have a set of 5's that come out. That's how I got that 5. I have a set of 2's that come out. That's how I got that 2. So I'm going to multiply these together. That's how I got negative 20. Number 14, square root of 2 times 2. So I have an integer and a radical. That's how I ended up with 2 square root of 2. And then I'm going to go square root of 2 times square root of 10. They are both radicals. So I'm going to factor 10, 5, and 2. So I have a set of 2's that come out, and I have 5. That's why this 2 came out, and then I have square root of 5. In problem 15, I'm going to multiply a binomial times a binomial. The method I'm going to use is FOIL. You see it forms a smiley face. So here's my first terms. I'm going to multiply those two together. So I have 3 times 2. That's how I got 6. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2. I have a set of 2's that come out. So 2 came out. So that's how I got 6 times 2. I got 12. And then I'm going to do my outer. And multiply those. 3 times 1 is 3. So that stays a 3. The square root of 2 and the square root of 2. I have a set of 2's that come out. So 3 times 2, that's how I got that 6. And then next I'm going to do my inner. Here's my inner. So I am going to do 2 times 1, so that stays 2. Square root of 3 times the square root of 2 doesn't come out. So I end up with 2 square root of 6. Now I'm going to do my last. So here's my last. Square root of 3 and square root of 2 doesn't come out. So I end up with the square root of 6. Now I need to combine like terms. Square root of 2 plus the square root of 6. That's how I got 3 square root of 6. And then I have 12 plus 6 is 18. In problem number 10, I am going to do my first terms to multiply these binomials. 2 square root of 3 times the square root of 3, well, 2 is an integer, so it stays with the integers. And square root of 3, I have a set of 3's that come out. So 2 times 3, that's where I got that 6. Next, I am going to do my outer. So my outer, 2 times 2 is 4. That's where I got 4. Square root of 3 is the square root of 3. Next, I'm going to do my inner. Minus 3 square root of 3. That's it. And then I'm going to do my last terms. Negative 3 times 2, negative 6. Now I'm going to combine like terms. Notice I have square roots of 3. Those are my like terms. That gives me square root of 3. And then I have 6 minus 6 is 0. That's how I ended up with square root of 3 as the answer. So on number 17, I'm going to multiply my first terms. So negative 3 stays by itself. Square root of 3, I have a set of 3's that come out. So negative 3 times 3, that's how I got negative 9. And then I'm going to do my outer terms. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Square root of 3. Square root of 3. Then I'm going to do my inner terms. Negative 2 times the square root of 3. So there's nothing to do there. And then I'm going to do my last terms. Negative 2 times 2 is 4. Negative. I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have negative 9 minus 4 is negative 13. And then I have 2 square roots of 3. So that's how I got negative 8. So my first term, I got a set of 3's that come out. That's how I got negative 3 because that was negative. And then my outer terms, I have a set of 3 times 2. That's how I got negative 6. My inner terms are both radicals. That's how I got the square root of 6. And then my last terms, nothing comes out, so I got 2 square root of 6. So I combined like terms, and that's what I got.